Oh, there I am. Okay. Alright. Welcome everyone to our Saturday night D&D session where we follow the exploits of Team Soteria. It's been a while due to events and the Christmas/holiday season, but we do have um, uh, a skeleton crew, but we're going to try to get through the Feywild and get everyone back onto the prime material plane. Where things are less crazy and fairies aren't trying to jump out of the forest and kill you. So for a quick recap of last time our heroes were together, you guys had found a Fey crossing, which is a portal into the Feywild. Some of you are more enthusiastic than others about jumping in and exploring that space, but eventually you all did cross over. In there you were attacked by some vicious fairy folk, but you persevered and made your way to the Summer Court, which is a place of sunshine and glass and marble and trees and good happy feels and times. And there you met Queen Titiana and Oberon, and they explained that they were the ones, or she was the one rather, that had drawn you to the Feywild, one in particular, your paladin Nat. There was a curse placed upon them by the Queen of Air and Darkness, and Titiana promised to undo that curse, but in return she needed you guys to remove a relic um, of the Queen of Air and Darkness from the Feywild. And then she also mentioned to the party that there was a person here that had been here for some time that reminded her of one of the party members, that being Rashemi. And so you went to investigate this person that reminded you of Rashemi, and it turned out it was a woman who appeared to have the same complexion and hair color to Rashemi, but she was trapped inside a barrier of her own making, along with some Thayan wizards. And you managed to save this woman by defeating the Thayan wizards. But due to the spell, the strain of the spell that she was casting for these long years, she ended up dying and transferred her soul into Rashemi's sword. And Rashemi's sword has transformed into a sentient weapon. And then, battered and bruised from your fight with the Thayans, you made your way back to the Summer Court, where you guys had a nice long rest in meadows of wildflowers, and there's birds chirping. It's very calm and peaceful, and it's lulling you to sleep on soft beds of grass. And you awake in what you assume to be the morning because the sun is shining, and everything seems hunky-dory. There's food laid out for you, but it's all vegetarian, so there's like berries and other plants and stuff like that for you to eat, and bread, but there's no animal parts. You don't see Lydia, your the NPC companion, but besides that, everything seems calm and peaceful. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, while we're here, I'd, of course, defer to anything Nat's got on his plate. Their plate, excuse me. Um, but I had a question for you, DM.
Hello?
I took those Feywild crystals a long time ago in, I think it was Waterdeep. You remember those?
Yes, so you took some spell components, some material components for making a portal, a Fey crossing into the for making a Fey crossing, a portal into the Feywild. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, in my studies of them, have I discerned that they're of any importance to the natives of the Feywild? Like, would the queen that invited Nat here have an interest in them? Would it be, you know what I mean? Like,
Um,
do I essentially have her stuff?
you could certainly return it. You haven't been, you're not super familiar with the Feywild. I mean, you have been, I'm assuming you have during your moments of calm or travel, you've been studying various artifacts or interesting items you've come across. These would certainly be one of them. Um, you have deduced through books and some sort of and other knowledge that you have gathered over your years that these are like not exactly important. The important thing about them is that they're from the Feywild.
Oh,
And
okay. So they're not like they're not like holy relics.
no,
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe I should give them back, but if that's not the case, then I'll let it be. Let it be.
I mean,
Stuff
that
my
doesn't
face.
really. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm stuffing my face with berries. That's all.
um, Vera will comment that these berries taste delicious. She says something along the lines of, if you haven't had anything to eat in 8 years, even berries taste amazing.
Well, you can taste what I'm eating.
She shares senses with you.
Oh, it's gonna get you some getting used to.
Do we still not know who Rashemi's
I don't think so.
Can they communicate telepathy? Like, is he saying this stuff out loud?
I don't know if he's investigated it, but he's saying it out loud. The sword, you don't hear the sword talking. I think if I'm getting that right.
We talked about my whole backstory last night. Don't you remember? We went over it. It's over now. I don't need to repeat anything.
Vera, the sword was like vibrating or buzzing very angrily when it was asked to be. You don't know why, but your characters don't know why. You know why. Vera asked to be introduced to the party, but Rashemi said we'll do it some other time. And
and we'll still do it some other time.
But yeah, she is put it aside. She just seems to be happy to be back with her childhood friend.
We may have need of your power today anyway. Seems that we have more enemies to face.
Well, to that she'll say, well, the Feywild is a dangerous place. But I'll do what I can.
Like, have we gotten any kind of like directions? Is in this kind of area?
Yes.
Yada yada.
Yeah, you were told where it was in the Feywild, Nat. And you can always ask for your Eladrin guide to guide you there, similarly to how he did to where Rashemi's friend was kept. Your fur has grown back, but it's not somewhat, but it's sort of like it's a fuzz, kind of like a buzz cut. It's not back to its full luscious sort of.
In that case, I'm still looking like the pinkest edgelord possible.
Yeah, it's you estimate that at this rate of growth, it'll probably take another a full 24 hours for it to grow back to its entirety.
Okay, well, cloak in the meantime.
Very hard not to try to rub it. Like when someone just gets, their hair cut real down, you just want to like rub your hand.
Yeah, so like if you have two coats, your undercoat is pretty much grown back in. I don't know how cats work.
It depends on the type of fox, I guess. Because I mean, winter foxes, they go through a whole coat change. They don't teach you this kind of stuff in biology classes. I don't know why.
Yeah. I know I have a corgi, and he has two coats. He has an undercoat and like his shaggy self, and they gave him his summer haircut one time, and it just left his undercoat, and he looked like he didn't look like a corgi. He looked like a strange alien creature. So that's kind of what you look like now.
I'll look that up. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, unless any of you guys have anything else to do, I guess we should start checking out that other place.
I think so too. Rex? That's good with me.
All right. So you finish your breakfast, and as you've been discussing this stuff amongst yourselves, Lydia does come back. You see her talking to some Eladrin, and she rejoins you all and asks if you're ready to go.
Yep.
As we ever will be.
And Nat, you notice something about her. Give me a perception check.
Oh, that's right. Gotta get used to this. Been gone so long.
All right, there are two things you notice about her. This you won't need an insight. It's gonna be based on posture. Based on her posture, you see, she was kind of like unsure about the Feywild. Very like talked about how it's strange here, and like her connection to Maliki is distorted in some way and stuff like that. She talked about that, and so she had like a more fearful sort of stance. But now she's like back to like a proud paladin self, like back straight. All that military training has kicked back in. And you also notice that she is speaking to the Eladrin in that language that you had just learned one day. I think you did figure out that it was called Sylvan, but she is speaking in Sylvan to the Eladrin, and she trips over a few words here and there, but for the most part, she is speaking the same language that you know to the Eladrin.
What's she saying?
She's just let's see. She's talking about how uh, that this forest felt different to her, but once she got used to it, it didn't feel so bad, and that and she can feel Myliki through the Feywild now.
That's good. So yeah, I guess we'll just approach that. I don't know, we're ready.
All right, and the same Eladrin that guided you yesterday nods, and he escorts you out of the summer court, and you make your way back to the forest proper. Now, Nat, I think you did experience it on the way back, but his way of traversing the forest is quite strange. So much so that you can still have Ukman with you, but you'll have to dismount from him because he's not taking you on a path per se. There is intent in his movements and how he's moving throughout the forest, but he's going through tight confines here, touching a tree or a branch a certain way here, and he does indicate for you all to copy what he's doing exactly.
Okay. Yeah, do my best to kind of follow what he's doing. Kind of learn the things that he's doing.
And after about a minute of doing this, you notice that the air around you is getting very thick, um, almost oppressive. It's getting darker and darker and darker until it's almost night out, which is something you haven't really experienced in the Feywild. Even when it's so-called night, it would at most be like dusk. There's still some light out at all times here in the Feywild. And it's almost pitch black, and you don't hear any ambient noises of crickets chirping, birds singing, owls hooting, anything like that, just a dead silence. And the Eladrin turns to you and says, in Elvish, he says, I can take you no further. It is, he says, up ahead is alien to me.
Do you know what's that way, or is there something there you don't want to go towards, or is you just have never been?
He says it is. He's trying to find the right word for you guys. He says it is my. And I know the word for this, but I can't pronounce it right, so I'm trying to refrain from using it. I think it's anathema, but it's like it's everything that is anathema. It's everything that is against what you are, essentially, is the phrase or the word, Elvish phrase he's using. It is totally opposite from him, and he can't get any closer to it.
Well, thank you for taking us this far. We'll find that. Wait, and I forget. Did you want us to destroy it or bring it back?
He will say that the my lady left that choice up to you.
All right. Well, I guess we'll decide when we see it. Thanks again. And then now we'll try their best to, keep going.
Yep.
Not get lost.
And he's taking you to, like, the forest here is thinning. It is, you can see lights in the distance in this pitch black darkness. So as a darkness you can see up, so you can see lights in the distance, and the forest is thinning, and you see a clearing ahead where these lights are. And that's obviously the place that he's, motioning / gesturing to. And as you sort of step out from the forest into this clearing, you see what looks to be like, and this is something you didn't expect, because most of the architecture here is not this. You see what looks to be like a graveyard ahead of you. There's like a cobbled stone pathway leading up to this mausoleum ahead of you. You see the hillside sort of dotted with these tombstones. They're not exactly in the neatest of rows or order. And you begin to hear, not you've stepped on this ground, you begin to hear a haunting, like mocking laughter, sort of on this wind that is blowing through.
I'm just going to go ahead and use a divine sense.
Okay, and while he's doing that real quick, I'll send Venning forward.
All right. Venning sees some stuff. Let me see what divine sense gets you. So divine sense is not detect good and evil. It only finds celestials, fiends, or undead. So you're not getting any of those. But you get the feeling that this is, I think it is hollow ground too. This feels like it has been, that this is desiccated ground though.
Well, at least the dead things here are still dead, so that's okay. But yeah, this is not a good place.
And Venin is flying up. He's still in his raven form. He's flying up, looking around. He sees these lights are they're blinking in and out of existence. They're not um, in one place. They'll kind of like, if anyone has used dancing lights or knows it, it's kind of like a light globe will pop up briefly, and then after a few seconds fade, and then I'll pop up somewhere else. But there's a number of these popping up around, and they're sort of
Is there a pattern?
Give me a perception check. And they're sort of coloring the mist that has also sort of set in. So there's no pattern that you can see. It appears random. It's all this like,
Do
it's
they
all,
come in and out of the same places?
no, they're just,
Okay.
yeah, it's around, like occasionally it will, like you'll see one come up, but it's not back in the same place or a similar place to a previous light. But there are about 10 lights that are just these, these orbs that'll, wink into existence and then slowly fade out, and they'll pop up somewhere else.
There are 4 lights. The Star Trek reference.
Oh. And then Venin is going to fly forward a bit, and he sees that there is this giant sort of stone structure in the back of this graveyard. It's all surrounded by a fence, and you sort of stepped into a broken section of the fence, or a walkway leading to a broken section, or maybe a gate should have been, but has been maybe busted down. And Venin sees 2 things of import that you guys didn't see from this distance. He sees a statue in the center of the mausoleum, or the graveyard. It looks to be like an elvish or a ladrin female. It's made of some dark material. The thing that's important though is while it is beautifully crafted, she's wearing a dress. You can see each like individual crease in the dress and how it fits her body and stuff like that. And even her toes and her fingers and her nails, and like the intricacies of her ears. Her face is completely blank, almost as if because it has been damaged. Almost someone took a sledgehammer to the face of this immaculate statue and just smashed it to pieces. And then she is holding what looks to be like a broken sword, blade downward. As in the hilt is in place. She's holding it by the hilt, but the blade has been broken. And then past that's sort of in the center, past it towards the back, you see this stone structure, the mausoleum itself, where for those of you where the important people are buried, and you can see from this distance the stone structure because of how big it is, but you can't make out the individual stonework. Getting closer, you can see, Venin can see that you expect it to be bricks, but instead it's also carved, and they're faces of people that seem to be carved into the brickwork or the stonework, and it shouldn't be possible, but you can swear that these faces are moving and shifting in expressions of pain and sorrow.
Is there anything like, I'm thinking of like a history or like a religion kind of check or something like that. Like, is there anything spiritual or significant about these people?
Let's see. You can give me a history check. You do see some trees here as well. They are barren and dead. You don't recognize any of the faces in there, and Nat, you as well. So for Nat, it would be someone like it would be a prominent person, cleric or paladin of Lathander, maybe a founder of Waterdeep. You don't see any of these, or maybe like one of the Oaken Lords or something like that. You don't see any of these faces in here. Actually, you wouldn't know because you're so far away you can't see it. Rex is looking through Venian's eyes, which is why he can see it. So up closer, Nat, you can. We'll use that 16 up closer, but that's all you guys get for now.
Well, I guess we need to approach it.
Is this the only entrance into this cemetery?
It looks like it.
Not a great getting in point.
As you guys get closer, it does look like the fence has been smashed. You see the wrought iron gates have been knocked over and twisted into form and knocked over onto the ground.
I turn around and say, "How good at lying low are you guys?"
I mean, I'm pretty good at it, but this armor.
Lydia will say, I can be pretty stealthy if I need to be. Vera will say, I'm a sword. I'm only as stealthy as the person who wields me.
Right. Well, it might be a good idea to enter with care, if everyone agrees.
All right. You guys can make stealth checks. Some of you have disadvantage on this roll. Ooh.
I have good stealth, and I still can never roll well.
So that's okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
so Rex is in robes and comfortable leather boots, and he's able to just make his way across the cobblestones without any. I'll roll for Lydia too. So she's decent, and across the couple without any trouble at all. You can swear it's almost like Caxier is here. Due to how well he's able to mask the sound of his movement and stuff like that. Reshemi, maybe it's you're excitable. You feel like this place isn't, and Vera's warning you too. Vera, sorry, is warning you. This place is dangerous. Be careful. And sort of due to that, you're on high alert, and you're sort of like, twitchy, adrenaline's flowing, so you make some mistakes with your footing and make some noise. You kick a cobblestone up here and there. Nat, your armor is while it affords you some degree of protection, it is very clanky, and you haven't yet mastered the ability to mask that sound. Lydia, similarly to Reshemi, she's wearing a breastplate, so the armor is not an issue for her, but she seems very uncomfortable in this space, probably because she is also sensing that it is very dangerous or desecrated ground here, and so she's making some mistakes as well with her footing. But you guys do manage to approach. These mists seem to retreat from you slowly as you are advancing. And you approach this statue in the center of the area.
Do we get anything else from being up closer to it that we can see?
Give me a perception roll. Actually, this would be passive perception. Does anyone have a 15 or higher?
You? I don't believe so. Mine is a 21.
All right. So, Rex, you see this, and you notice Lydia is reacting to it as well. As the mists are retreating around you, you notice that you thought they were retreating, but looks like they are actually forming like an upside down U shape almost as if they are maybe trying to surround you, because the edges of the mist are like moving to encompass you around the edges of this graveyard. And you can see some shapes in the mist. You think you see 3 exactly, due to your high passive perception. Lydia can't see the number of shapes. She just notices the movement in the mist. And she warns everyone that there's something out there. But you can elaborate if you want to,
I'm gonna have to be right
Rex.
back. My dog won't stop barking.
Okay, you can elaborate as well, Rex. You see 3 shapes in the mist. There are 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one.
Is this behind us or in front of us past the statue?
Well, Rex will be able to notice this. Lydia just sees the movement. Everyone else's passive perception is too low. He sees, Rex will see, if he wants to say this, he can, but he will see 2 that are moving, 2 shapes, forms that are moving to flank you guys, and 1 that's in front of you still, beyond the statue.
I'll let everybody know.
And Nat, your divine sense is, I think, just like ping, but we'll say that it's still enough of it left with you to see that this statue ahead of you is the source of this desecration. Specifically, the sword, a broken sword the statue is carrying. And just as you notice that, and Rex warns you of these figures flanking you and the one ahead of you, you see something jump out of the mist, and we'll have everyone roll initiative.
Oh no! Oh no!
And I'll move you guys to where it
I
is.
didn't send it to the thing. Sorry.
Sorry. And that's what you guys see coming
Alright,
at
I'm
you.
back.
Spooky.
Hey, I got the same thing as I did before.
That's pretty odd.
Oh man, she's not gonna. She rolled a 2.
Wolf.
Okay. Okay, where are these bad boys? Uh-oh. This is not looking good. Uh-oh.
We're being attacked by barbers.
I will explain to you what they look like.
The demon barber of Fleet Street.
I mean, if they were small psychotic fairy, if Sweeney Todd was a small psychotic fairy, then
Teeny
yeah.
Todd.
Oh man, he got 20. Fuck.
Wow, they did so good on their initiatives.
Okay, so this is what you guys see. You see, out of the mist, you see a creature conjured from your nightmares, maybe. From the neck down, looks like to be a dapper gentleman, decked out in finery. The only thing out of place seems to be the creature's hands, which end in sharp talons or claws. The face, you notice, is a masquerade, or full face mask, like the style of a masquerade, and it takes it off to regard you. And beyond it, there are no facial features. There is only a mouth filled with many teeth. And in the back of the mouth is an eye that is regarding you as it blinks. and you think you see it smile, but it's hard to tell because the mouth is not a mouth that you are used to. It is a circle, like a lamprey's mouth or something similar, and it's filled with rows and rows of razor sharp teeth. And the other creatures that are jumping out to assault you are they look like miniature evil barbers. They're wielding straight razors. They're small creatures. They're cackling maniacally. They have this sort of pale flesh, like dead almost. And they have hateful eyes and a shock of black hair. They're wearing they're not wearing per se a barber's apron or clothing, but it looks more like a butcher's gloves, long rubber gloves and apron, and due to they were the ones you think laughing, and their white teeth are showing, but you notice that the mouth where their lips would be and the bottom of their face and their toes are skinless, so it looks very horrifying as they're smiling to you, cackling, going like
Oh,
and
thanks.
this
I didn't need to sleep tonight.
and I'll show them how they look to you after, but I don't want to now because it shows you their whole stats, I think, if I show them to you. So
That would be a shame.
yeah, well, I did nerf them a little bit because we have lesser. But yeah, let me just show it so you guys can get the picture. These are the vile barbers.
Okay, these are the vile barbers.
They look like tiny demon butcher / barbers.
Oof.
And this is the Fearsmith. And yes,
Oh god.
they are.
No thanks.
They're very creepy creatures. And the Fearsmith will go first. He is going to look who looks the most imposing to him. I would say I have Rashemi and Nat in the front because you're like our tank, so to speak. He's going to look at Nat. I would like Nat to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright, sorry about that. What did I miss?
Oh, so I showed the creatures that you are encountering. One looks like a small evil fairy version of a barber / butcher. The other one is a creature dressed in finery, but whose face has been replaced by a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. This creature with the razor-sharp teeth mouth has an eye in the back rather than a esophagus leading down to a stomach, and has turned that eye upon you. Actually, no, that's at the start of your turn. Never mind. So it'll stare at you with a look. It'll still stare at you with a look. Nat, can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Yes. Pretty good at these. Yes,
All right.
I'm very good at these.
So you take.
I now declare myself very good.
Yes, you take half of this. You actually have a +7 with Lydia next to you.
I think that stacks.
They do not stack. The higher one takes priority.
Oh, okay.
It would be too good then. No one would fail a save ever. You just have.
Exactly.
You just
well,
have.
You do have to have 2 paladins.
You just have 2 paladins. You have a +10 eventually to all your saves.
Mm-hmm.
But so you take half of this damage. You take. So you take. I should have just taken the average. I rolled right pro there. You take. You take 4 psychic damage, and that's it, I think. Yep, you succeeded. So you didn't get any of the nastier effects.
Handle
And that's going to be its turn. There's the Vile Barber too. He is going to laugh maniacally, and then, oh, he would have targeted Ukman then too. I forgot Ukman was there and present.
Okay.
He does have more actions, but you were the most imposing. He was sort of sizing you up. So have Ukman do the saving throw as well. They do get the +4 from the aura. All right.
Straight. Yeah, no.
So they will
Is
take
he dead?
the average of the damage he does, which I'm going to take from now on, is 13.
Well, bye, Ukman. See you later.
So he did not pass his save. So Ukman sort of poofs out from underneath you in a poof of leaves, but you do manage to catch your feet. Do your cat-like reflexes, be on your feet.
I don't know how to remove it, so
You can just put him in a corner. I think you just delete him like you would. You just press the delete on your keyboard. And then
He was
sort
so
of,
young.
Oh, yep, there we go.
and then out of the mist, he almost seems to disappear for a second. One of these smaller creatures in the mist, he just retreats back to it. And then he, who would he? He's gonna be on Rashemi, I feel like. Sorry, I got a lot of windows open. You see him, even though you see them in the mist now that Rex has pointed them out, Rashemi, the one to your right almost seems to disappear for a second. And then he's on your shoulder, laughing maniacally, trying to draw his straight razor across your throat.
Oh,
I'll give it disadvantage.
All right.
You
Well,
just slide
here's the
my
thing,
right
though.
there.
He has advantage on any attack rolls against a creature in the same space as it, so it's just straight roll
Yes,
for
it's
him.
just straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll to decapitate.
And he's gonna make
It's
he's
small.
gonna make 2 cuts. He's gonna go one way and then bring it back.
Like he's playing a violin.
Yes.
I need that blood that needs to stay inside.
He's small, but you don't have to cut very far to hit an artery.
And so we'll see how it goes. He's not grappling you, so he doesn't get anything else. If you're restrained or grappled, he can do really bad things. So it's gonna be 2 cuts, 14 to hit, and a 13 to hit. We're gonna miss you. I'm gonna
He's
assume
just gonna slit my throat.
the 14's gonna hit.
No.
Okay, so you managed to turn your neck the last second, and it just goes by, and he doesn't get mad. He just in frustration, and then you see him turn back into mist and go back 30 feet back to where he was.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, sure not.
He's gonna be back here now. That's his turn. The next one will they have a lot of cool things I'll tell you about after the because I have this like expanded monster compendium that I'm drawing these from. But yeah, they're this next one's gonna do the same thing. Gonna do the same thing to Lydia. It's gonna try to jump. This one is going to get behind her and try to bring it down. Get behind her on both of her shoulders and do the same thing. So we'll see if he hits.
I can only do that once, so.
He has he has gonna have an advantage against.
That's not great.
Yeah, he's gonna have an advantage against Lydia. She's a paladin. She's got a lot of health, so let's see. Her AC isn't as high as Nat's, but we'll see. 18, which hits her, and 22, which hits her. So that's 6 slashing and 5 slashing, so 11 in total.
That's not too bad.
It's just a cliche.
So they're really annoying, but doesn't actually damage you too much. Type.
They have other things they can do if you want them
So
to.
they're really annoying and they'll kill you.
Well, he said don't get restrained, right?
Yeah. If you are restrained or grappled by them, they can do some other stuff to you. And similarly
How's he
to
gonna grapple?
grappling just means there is like restricting your movement, really.
Yeah, I guess grapple is just an action.
Yeah. And he is going to do the same thing as soon as Lydia, she is cut. She manages to not get her throat slit, but you see she's bleeding from like her upper chest / throat area. And before she can react and knock the creature off her, it sort of disappears, retreats back into the mist. And then it is Rashemi's turn.
Alrighty.
Who are you targeting, Rashemi?
I'm not sure. Part of me says I should just go to the guy up front. I couldn't reach him. But I could probably reach the barber on my right.
What kind of stuff do we need to avoid on this map? Like, is there anything that we'd have to go?
You can go. The only thing that's going to be unavoidable is the statue in the middle is going to be non-passable, because it is. I'm just going to draw that there.
Made of rocks.
Yeah, it's that is impassable.
False. I'm now in Earth Genasi. That's right.
Cost meld with stone just to get through the section. Okay, I guess I'll just go after the barber on the right. Achoo.
These are the
So I can cut my throat.
impassable areas because they are, buildings and whatnot.
Yeah. Didn't know if we had to watch out for tombstones, that kind of.
All right. He seems to kick when you get closer to him.
Yeah, I'll kick you in half.
That does hit. I'm assuming you entered rage when we did this.
Oh, I totally forgot.
Always rage.
Always rage. Yeah.
Why
All right.
not, you know?
So yeah, does a 24 hit?
Yes, a 24 does hit.
Oh, that's good to hear.
They're wearing leather smocks.
Well, sometimes little guys.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. They have really good decks, but they're wearing leather armor too, essentially. So you figure it
Does
out.
a 16 hit?
16 does hit as well.
Okay.
Nice. Oof.
Can we tell how much that hits?
You don't know, but I'll tell you something else that happens for Shimmy.
Okay.
So when you hit them using your newfound magic sword Dauntless, there's initial resistance here. Before Vera says, she'll say it to you in your head. They're resistant to. It's like they're resistant. She's like grunting, exerting, like she's trying to do a difficult task.
Ooh.
She says they're resistant to non-magical weapons, but it shouldn't be a problem. And she says that as soon as she finishes that, you just slice through it, no problem.
Okay, good. Can't get more magical than sentience.
Yeah. Seems
Right.
magic to me.
Do you want to move anywhere else? I think you still have some movement left. Move anywhere else, or?
No, I'm good.
All right. You did bloody that vile barber in 2 hits. They don't have a lot of health.
Hey, that's good to hear.
Nat, it is your turn.
Right. I like removing enemies from the battlefield, so I'm gonna run over this same one too. I don't know if I need to use my feline agility to get over there.
Probably. Let's see. Get the.
Let's see.
No, you can make it. You can just make it
for later. All right, and then I'll start swinging. Swing with Pancake.
Yep, that's a hit.
Three.
Your first hit crushes its tiny skull. And because it's so small, you have turned it into a pancake.
Is it dead?
It's dead.
Oh, sweet. Let's see. How far away are we now from Weird Dude? Can I get? Yeah, I think so.
And he keeks his last. Keek.
Yeah, Kiki kicked your ass.
All right.
He keeps
As soon as you come within 30 feet of him, with the intent to kill him, Nat, something happens. You need to make you a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah, stop doing this. Well, I've already established I'm great at these, so yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
Fantastic. I'm the best.
You begin to feel a little bit disoriented as you approach him. But it quickly passes.
Okay. All right. Well, time for another swing. Nope, not spells. Oh, maybe I should. You know what? I will. I'm going to cast Thunderous Smite. No. Oh, yeah, I will. Never mind. So I cast Thunderous Smite.
Is it a bonus action to use your feline agility, or is it a free action?
It's free action.
Okay.
It's just, I get to double my movement.
Okay.
Cast that spell. So I got Thunderous Smite. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have done the damage then. Whatever. And then, yeah, I'm going to swing again.
Thunder Smite will be active. That's a
Oh.
miss. Thunder Smite will be active until the next time you hit,
Yeah.
I believe.
For 1 minute. It is concentration, though.
Yeah.
So I gotta not get hit. Okay, so 13 doesn't hit?
13 does not hit him.
That'll be the end of my turn.
All right, Rex.
Hello. I will. Hello. I'm gonna swing around here and kind of use these tombstones as. It's not gonna help since they teleport, but whatever. And let me think. I think what I'm gonna do. Who killed this other dude?
Yeah, the dude on the right is dead.
No, I know. I'm gonna shoot a. I'm gonna just do a regular old magic missile at the vile dipshit on the left.
The perfect name.
He takes offense to that.
Does he say kiki? Is that what he says about it?
He does. They're the best speakers. Strangely enough, for some reason, they can speak Goblin. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, goblins are from the Feywild, right? Goblinoids, that whole thing.
Some variants of them are. I don't think goblins in general are. They like to have their own religion and stuff.
They just have that goblin energy.
Now, see, no matter where I move these 4 tabs, I can't not. Okay, so you hit him with 5, 5, and 4.
14 damage. Force.
These 3 little impacts, smack against this creature, and you hear him keek back into the mist as he flops back a little bit. Do you want to do anything else?
I can. Maybe I'll shoot Venning in to give the next person to smack Fearsmith an advantage. Can I do that?
Yes, that's certain. I think it's a bonus action to do so. As long as he's within. I don't know what his fly speed is, but he can.
Is it a bonus or can he just do it?
I think
What if it's like
I
his
think it's a
movement?
bonus action to command him to do something.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
think.
that's
It's usually that for most pets or creatures.
Clearly, I don't do it
for
often
familiars. For
Ah.
familiars, I think they roll their own initiative technically, and they just sort of do. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I don't actually know the wording.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does.
It's either its own initiative or it's a bonus action. But either way, it should be able to do it because you haven't used your bonus action.
Yeah.
As long as you're within the distance, it needs to be within 5 feet of the target to give that advantage to someone, the help action. So as long as enough movement from where you are to fly over there.
In combat, it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn.
Okay. So we'll just have a go immediately after you then.
Yeah.
To make it simple.
Whoever hits the Fearsmith next can have advantage.
All right.
Can we just hear the Smiths playing when we get next to the?
You hear like funeral music playing, like a dirge.
Yeah, so the Smiths.
Now it's Lydia's turn. What can she hit from here? Oh, she doesn't really like these little guys, so she says something in Sylvan that which is not characteristic of her. She says, "I'll teach you to slice my throat, you little shits," something like that.
Ah, the beautiful language.
But she's gonna go up here and attack this boy. You know, her weapon is different than all of yours. It's like a sword staff. I think I put the picture in Discord. She's gonna make 2 attacks against it. Oh boy. Well, 21 will hit. She's gonna flavor that, I think, with some smite action.
Does she use a shield or she?
No, she's willing. It's a double-handed weapon. A 2-handed weapon. Sorry. And she's gonna put a smite on that as well. All right, so she is going to smack it really quick twice with the bladed portion of the sword staff, and then bring it in on the arcane focus, or the holy focus, the symbol, sort of other half, and hit it as well. When that hits is when the holy smite will go off. And so she did 16. That's enough to kill it, actually. So it is incinerated in holy fire and just burns away particle effects. It just evaporates into nothing. And that's her turn. Alright. Fierceness time. Alright, I can get rid of all the vile barbers now, but he's gonna do some things.
I feel
Does this guy look like a spellcaster?
Oh, yes. And he's gonna do some spelly stuff now. He's going to put one on Rashemi and Rex here.
Oh no!
Spell.
You're out of my safe range.
Counterspell.
Counterspell. It is a 4th level spell,
Ooh.
so you'll need to roll for it. 14 DC, I think.
What do I roll? Just intelligence check?
It is a DC 20 plus your your intelligence modifier.
Oh, you don't get like a con modifier for it.
No, I believe the wording is it's a D20 plus whatever you're using.
Oh God, you scared me. You said DC 20.
Sorry, no. It's DC 14.
Oh God, just forget it.
No, it's a D20 plus, so it'd be a 1 plus 4, No.
It says using your spellcasting ability.
Yeah, which is intelligence for him.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be a plus 4 to whatever he rolls.
Oh, no.
I'm just over there waving.
Yes, you try to counterspell, but it doesn't go off. I need Rashemi and Rex to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, come on.
I feel like some of you have been under the effect of this spell before, but it is the confusion spell. Oh dear.
God, no.
I'm so confused.
So you might hurt yourself in your confusion.
No.
Basically, you need to roll.
Pokemon.
You need to roll a D10 at the start of your turn, and it determines how you act for that turn.
Oh my God.
There's a chance for you to act normally, but it is only. I think you have to roll a 10 to do it.
And I've been doing so good all night on my regular rolls.
Okay, so that's one of its moves, and then it will look at you again, Nat, and it will try to slice you with its claws.
How dare.
The disparity with which I roll attack rolls and everything else is unheard of.
And you are not under the effect of its gaze, right? When you tried to on your turn, you succeeded on that, so you're good.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, so he does have 2 claws. He's gonna attack you twice.
Gosh, that's gonna claws.
He got a 14 and a 21.
1 hits.
All right. That deals 16 slashing to you.
Ow.
It's a good amount.
Why can't you guys get hit so I can say no you?
You got hit with a spell.
And you see him you see some drool begin to leak out of the corner of his circular lamprey like mouth, as it looks like his eye is sizing you up. But that's his turn. Vile barbers are gone. Rashemi, roll.
Yeah.
Give me a D10.
I would love to. You do that.
7. Okay. So you use your action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within your reach. If there is no creature within your reach, which there are none, you don't do anything for this turn.
Okay.
Now at the end of your turn, you can make another wisdom saving throw.
I spin my sword around. Wee.
Just do the link spin slash. Vera's like, what are you doing? Stop it! Snap out of it.
Sword talkie, yay.
Okay, so
Wow.
Vera's urging to snap out of it, Rashemi. This is time to get serious. Help snap you out of your confusion.
Back. What was I doing?
Vera says you're making yourself look like an idiot in front of your friends. Who you still haven't introduced to me, by the way.
Just gonna hold that on you.
Yeah.
Alright, Nat's turn.
Alright. Time to start swinging. Oh, did I click the right button there? Nope. That one. Ooh,
That does hit.
Alright. Now
Your Thunder Smite goes off, which is the extra 7, so you're 18 damage. What are the effects of Thunder Smite? It pushes him back, right? If he doesn't...
Yeah. 10 feet. And prone.
Alright, well, he gets a save against this, right? It's a strength save.
Yes.
How's this guy's strength looking?
Oh, he doesn't look like super buff, but he's a magical creature. So he might have...
hurt.
Looks a little tough.
He might have some resistance to magic.
Oh, can I fish for a crit? Because I don't have advantage on that.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. He does succeed on the saving throw against Thunder Smite.
Unfortunate. And didn't get a crit.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I don't know if you guys know, but if both of them would hit when you have advantage, it lets you choose which damage roll you want. So in this case, you choose the 11 because both would hit.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways.
But yeah, so he takes the...
7 went off. Now I'm going to smite.
Yeah, he does take a step back, but catches himself and doesn't fall prone as lightning courses through his body.
Okay, so that's going to be... I'm going to do it at 2nd level.
Ooh.
Let's see how I did.
All right, yeah,
I can't see until I switch over.
You rolled
nice.
17.
I like that. All right, I'll take that any day. And now, Thunder Smite again. Is this like the true?
So you will have to attack again to hit, but you don't get advantage on this one.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just going to do Thunder Smite.
All right, 19 does hit.
Nice. And then I'll just do a level 1 smite on that. Oh, that's not a good smite. I don't like that. But yeah, that, and then that was a turn. So that would minus first and second. Alright, I'm halfway out of slots, guys.
Rex, give me a D10 roll. Are you here with us, Rex? He did say he's helping with the kids. So we're gonna have Lydia go first. He'll hopefully be back, but after Lydia goes, she's gonna run in to attack this fierce smith as well. But as soon as she meets the gaze of that singular eye inside of his strange mouth, she'll need to make this save as well. 2, which is wisdom saving throw. And she's +9. Haha. Okay, she's good. She comes charging in. There's a slight falter in her step, but she pushes through it and gets up on this jabroni and tries to stab him a bunch. Actually, I wanted to use her channel divinity.
What's yours do? I can't use mine unless somebody else can.
She is going to spin her sword staff and then slam the blade into the ground. And out of it, all these vines are going to come out and try to wrap around the Fearsmith and restrain him. And so he's going to make a dex or strength saving throw. Doo. That's hers. And he is going to do that. He's going to choose dex. He failed. So these vines, which are in stark contrast to this dark and dreary and dead place where there is all the grass here is dead, trees are dead. These vines and roots that are teeming with life. A dark brown color buds on them that turn into flowers. Thorns, that sort of thing, began to wrap around the Fearsmith, start on his leg, and begin to go upon his whole body. And he is now restrained. And as they constrict around him, he takes 2d8 damage. 7. He's also restrained.
It's going really well.
Oh, a little hurt, but not too bad.
And so, yeah, attack rolls against him have advantage, and his attack rolls have disadvantage. And he has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Is he restrained?
Yes, he is restrained. These vines have him wrapped up, and roots. She's a variant of Oath of Ancients, is what she is. Rex, are you back with us? Is the child asleep? And some other stuff. I'm going to.
Sorry, I'm back.
Aha!
And I'm up, and I'm confused. So I need what? I need to roll a D. What?
Yeah, a D10. Yeah, if you. Ho ho! That is the one you want, I believe. Well, let me check and see. So basically, what happens? Lady went right before you. She slammed her sword staff into the ground. These vines, teeming with life, and roots teeming with life, came in and restrained this creature. So he is wrapped up, ready and waiting. An early Christmas present.
Advantage on it.
Yep. Confusion 10. You can act and move normally for this turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so he has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and your attack rolls against him have advantage.
I would like to send 3 scorching rays at his face.
Hoo hoo. Give me them advantage rolls.
Yes.
I get out my scorching ray gun.
Let's see. So he It's just a gross, fleshy looking dude, right?
Yes.
Let's stick with fire then.
I think he has a nice outfit.
You haven't tried anything different on him. So yeah, hit,
Number 2.
hit,
Number 3.
just hit. So 21 damage. He's bloodied now.
I'm doing finger guns while I shoot him out.
Is there anything else you wanted to do? Any more movement? Bonus action?
I moved my full movement just to kind of take some cover behind whatever that thing.
I think it was a bench. Looks like a bench to me.
Yes, it does look like a bench. I think that's it. Do I get to save again?
Yes, you get another wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn. Ho ho! With aplomb. Alright. Here's the cool thing about Lydia's divine ability. If they fail, it does more damage at the start of their turn.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's a 15.
Did I take the wrong oath? No, I just get good next level.
Well, I buffed her oath of because normally it just restrains them. I added some small damage to it as well. 2d8, which is for 6th level is not super great.
15 is 15.
Yeah. And then, but he'll still go. He has an opportunity to break out of these binds at the end of his turn. He is going to do some stuff. Now he has some spells at his advantage. He's going to look at Rex, the man who just attacked him. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Bitch. Only against me?
Yes. He's gazing balefully at you. Oh! So you take 6 psychic damage still. You're on a roll.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
my
Luckily you guys are not... Luckily you are succeeding all these saves. Man, he has a lot of wisdom saving throws, but if you fail, it's really bad for you. But you're all passing, and I'm really disappointed.
that was 6, right?
Yes, you take 6 psychic damage.
No. Too far, actually.
And then that's only one of the attacks. And then he will try to do something else. He's going to look at, in desperation, because he's super low, he is going to try to, I think he can get 2 people, but he can't get everyone. So he's restrained, so he can't. I'm always confused how cones work in D&D.
They are kind of weird. Like, they seem so not exact for, everything that's like in grids.
So it's 1, then 3, then 3, then 4, then 4, then 5 for a 30-foot.
Can you draw a shaped cone?
Yes, I'm going to try to. So it's 1 square, and then 3, and then 3, and then 4, and 4, and 5. Okay, that's for 30 feet. This is a 60 feet cone, I think. Nope, 30-foot cone. So he's going to get 1, and then 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5. So he's going to miss, actually. He only get 1 of you. No, he can. He can get... You're within 30 feet of him. So I imagine it's 1, and 3, and 3, and 4. We'll say he's going to get Nat and Rashemi. He's going to do Fear on you. Cast Fear at you guys.
I'm trying to counterspell that.
Alright, you can. It is 3rd level spell, so counterspell immediately goes out.
Nice.
That's 2.
Ooh.
Now it is. So you momentarily, Nat and Rashemi, felt this moment of panic. But then it just as quickly as it comes. If you had more hair, it'd be staying on end, Nat. But just as quickly as it comes, it goes away.
That was low.
I gotta twist the knife a little bit. Hey, you did it to yourself. I warned you that weird magic shit was going on with your stuff, and you just kept on. In fact, you kept
I
on.
have this might.
You have been doing it more and more, but the losing the fur was the last thing I had planned, so I forgot to roll for each of these things that you were doing. So let's just do 2 wild magic resurgence rolls right now, just to see what happens.
How do I never get good stuff?
Like big muscles.
Let's just
I
see.
mean, I already got.
Give me
those.
2 D100 rolls. I know you've done more than these, but let's just do 2.
Maybe you'll turn giant size.
That would be wonderful. 29 and a 20.
All right. So the first 20, we'll see what happens first. So you teleport 60 feet in a direction you're choosing, and as soon as you you have to.
Jeez. Straight up.
And
I haven't moved again, so I can get back.
Yes, you can get back, but wherever you want to.
Just this way. Wait, let me see what's 60 feet. So I don't teleport into a building.
Be 12 spaces,
this is
I believe.
so far away. Good Lord. Hold on, let me just drag it out there. This, some, coming right there. This 60 feet.
And then as soon as you teleport away, you are covered in thick, slick grease. Ugh! It's gonna take forever to get out of your fur.
Just right back.
My gosh.
Oh, I need a dexterity saving throw from you. You should pass it no problem.
I'm good at these.
Alright, you're good. So you slip a little bit, but you maintain your footing thanks to your cat-like reflexes and grace. He's like, what happened? Are you alright?
Stop this. I gotta
hey, I removed I actually had, after you ran out, I'm not going to implement because I have to look it up, but I had a mini arcane explosion go off after every time you cast a spell, but I removed that. Alright, Rashemi, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm good now, so I'm going to run up to the man and hopefully not be feared by him.
Well,
yeah, get wisdom saving throw. As soon as you would get within 30 feet of him and try to attack him, you'll need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Okay. That's before I run into her aura then.
Wait,
yes.
Rashemi, can you like step a little bit farther in? That way I can get back on my. Oh, that's 45.
You can get here probably.
I'll just do it here. You said wisdom save?
Yes.
No.
Alright. So as soon as you get, how far away from him are you? Okay, as soon as you take a step, you fall prone. You become disoriented. So you can stand back up, but it's half your movement.
Just smack.
I think the effects of the confusion is still affecting me. I fell on my face. Alright,
So you have 10 feet left.
Is that really what it was? Is he makes me fall
Yes,
down?
it's called distortion gaze. If you run within 30 feet of him and look at him, you have to make this save. If you fail, you just fall down.
Okay, so I'll get up and then walk another. I think I have 10 feet left.
When you try to move, you fall down again.
Do I move forward 5 feet?
Yes, you move forward 5 feet, and then you fall down again.
Oh my god. Okay, I just stay down here now.
I don't think you can get up.
Nope.
Alright, I forgot to have him make his strength saving throw at the end of his turn to get out of the vine, so I'll have him do that now.
So sad.
He still fails, so he'll still be restrained. You're lucky, because if he could move up to you, he has like a super ability if you're under the effects of his gaze, which, thanks to Lydia, he can't move. Alright, Rashemi. So you get within, like, spitting distance almost of him, but you keep on falling down as you walk up to him. Something about his gaze creeps you out.
Oof. Oh, I got it. Oof.
Vera's like, what is wrong with you today?
Am I exempt from this since I've passed it once before?
It's every time.
This is just insult to injury.
Every time you get within 30 feet of it, you have to make this saving throw. Now, if you're already up close to it and you're not moving like Lydia is, you're fine. Like, you can be disoriented, but as long as you're not moving, so you won't fall prone or anything. So, it's Nat's turn.
Alright, I'll make the save.
It is wisdom. You're good at wisdom. You're proficient, and you have a bonus. Oh no! All right.
How close can
Get within 30 feet of him, and then you fall down. So if you're using your feline agility, you can stand up. You still have 15, feet of movement.
Is this switching tools? No, sorry, one more back. Okay.
So you can get one space closer, but you'll fall down again, essentially.
Okay, I'll do that. Wait, hold on. No. No, I'll just stay here and be back on my feet.
Yep. All right. You'll make the saving throw again, essentially. Because if you're at the edge, you can make it again.
You mean next turn?
Yeah, next turn. Like
the
effect, if you're outside of the 30 feet, the effect, well, this is metagaming, but if you're outside of the, see, Rashemi now will constantly be falling down as he approaches the Fearsmith. He can't get to him, but he'll be falling down constantly on the way there.
Gotcha.
And but you stay at the edge, you can make that save again at the start of your turn, and then try again, essentially. Do you have a ranged ability or spell?
I will throw a javelin at him.
Yeah, you can try that.
Screw you.
He is restrained with advantage on this attack roll.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been hit so much since he's become bloodied, right?
He actually has been. Lydia hit him with some big stuff. Rex hit him with 21. He's pretty close.
I'm trying for a sleep spell.
I don't think, can you smite a ranged weapon?
No, you can't. Like, I mean, Jeremy Crawford said,
Yeah, but raw.
Nothing in the game changes if you allow it, but in the thing,
in Ack Inc., I think he allowed it for Evelyn. But yeah, those games are more for like comedy and entertainment. Like Galdur's Tower. Galdur's Tower takes 10 minutes to cast.
Of a one shot.
Yeah, yeah, that's why. Because Galdur's Tower takes 10 minutes to cast, and Jim has used it to murder a lot of people. But
how many spells? This might not be the only. So I'm just gonna huck a javelin at it. Yeet. 16.
16 does not hit, but you have advantage.
Oh, nice. Do it again.
Oh,
even worse.
Man, so it goes.
I need to pick that up.
It goes. It sticks into the stone masonry behind him, and that mausoleum where the faces are. It goes right through the open mouth of one of the faces carved into the wall.
Eat it. All right, that's the end of my turn.
Where are we in the turn order? I've messed the turn order a lot. Okay, Nat's turn. Now it's Rex's again.
Fearsmith still restrained and everything?
Yep. The start of his turn, or the end of his turn, he'll get another chance to get out.
Why fix what ain't broke?
Do you want to upcast this bad boy? Because he is looking pretty low.
No, I should have commanded him to approach.
There we go.
That way I don't have to worry about
Probably
the
19 damage.
Alright. So that's close to killing him, but he's still alive.
Come on, let me do it. This is my thing.
Oh, I forgot about that. I apologize.
Did you want to upcast?
No.
Okay. Here's the thing. Lydia can go and finish him. Lydia can go and finish him right now, or we can wait for you to go, Nat, but he'll have another turn.
That's fine. I don't want to metagame.
Okay. Alright.
I mean, if it was something cooler, then yes, but I mean, this.
So, well, his death is not going to be a noble or a cool one because the damage from these vines might kill him. That's how much health he has left.
Just die. See, it'll happen in another bout. So.
Yep. So he is.
I should have cast sleep.
So he is just looking at you guys with these. He's trying to shoot out these like invisible eye beams and stuff to like get you guys to make saving throws, but his eye is like looking around wildly and can't seem to focus on any of you guys as these vines just reach up finally past his neck and go over his face and his eye, and then you see some movement in there. But you see the vines constrict and constrict and constrict and then sink down into the ground. And then there's nothing left as all the vines and the roots retreat.
I wish I got this kind of damage from my smites that these vines are doing.
And then the laughing, see the mist dissipates. It's still dark and very spooky, but there's no mist. You don't hear the laughter on the wind anymore. And you're just left in this creepy graveyard with this creepy face mausoleum and creepy faceless statue.
So wait, was that a building behind it?
It's a building behind it.
Okay. Oh, first off, let's heal up a bit. I could use it.
Yeah, Rashemi, as soon as the creature sort of, gets eaten by the ground itself, you're able to stand back up again, and your equilibrium is back. You're no longer dizzy. The fluid in your inner ear has settled, so you're no longer just...
That was weird. I'm up now. I'm good.
Yeah, you have 60, health between you and Lydia with lay on hands, so this should be no problem.
Yeah, I'll just heal myself.
Yeah, and Lydia will heal Rex
they can heal
and herself.
And herself. Click off every single one. There's no like drop, move 20. It's click 20 times.
So that's and she's 11 down. All right. So everyone should be back up to full. And you guys are... There's just silence has once again descended upon you as you take turns, playing patty cake or however you want to, do this healing.
A chance.
Sing Kumbaya, whatever. Evelyn can cast Bonfire, but then you can sing Kumbaya around it.
Oh yeah, I was thinking, why don't we just have the rest of them head back since, Evelyn really didn't want to be here. If this is the last thing, just have them leave the Feywild.
Yeah, they can certainly do that.
Yeah, that's...
As well. And join you guys back up in the Clinks and Drinks Tavern.
Alright, well, are we ready to head in here? Maybe fight some more things?
You can certainly cast Divine Sense or any other evil sensing ability again, but I think sort of the ping that you got was the source of this desecration was the statue that you guys passed.
Oh, okay. Well, let's check out the statue then.
And sort of give me an Arcana roll if you want to use detect magic.
I don't think I have that prepared.
Anyone can do it.
If we're hanging out, I will cast the array of spells that I have for this.
All right. Yeah, you're back up at full health, by the way, too, Rex.
Oh, so, what was I going to say? I guess we're sensing that the statue is the problem, right?
Yes.
So rather than bother with tech magic, pretty sure it already is. Can I do like an identify on it? I don't know if that'll work if it's not like a magic item. Like
Yeah, you can. I can give you some information about what's going on with this. With identify. Okay, so the rest of you sort of, make a maybe defensive perimeter or sit down to rest a bit while Rex is, getting his spells ready.
you guys want to move on? We don't have to do this. So it's just.
Well, I think this is the thing that we came here for.
Yeah, you came to remove or destroy this whatever is polluting this ground, this area with its.
Hey, I'm good at smashing statues.
Yeah, I just figured we could figure out if there's anything else about it that.
Sit on a bench.
So detect magic didn't show anything?
Well, he's pretty sure it's magical already, based on what Nat has said. So he's trying to do identify instead and see. You can always cast detect magic as well, Rashemi, using your sword, if you want.
Oh, would it tell me something different, maybe?
It might give you a little more information.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll be looking at it because I don't really like know that much, but I assume maybe like Vero would.
Yeah, like hey,
Start doing it.
touch.
Detect magic, just like asking. Yeah.
He's like, hey, touch that statue with me.
What? Huh? Like on the sword part?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jimmy just says one, and that's just like I didn't say anything.
It's talking to someone else, and then I'll put the sword to the sword.
Okay.
Touch tips.
So she sword jumps back, like recoils from the broken sword you touched it with. You feel like shiver out of maybe fear or something like that.
Ugh.
Yeah, or disgust. Like, oh, she's like, I don't. That sword is bad news. I think it's. I mean, I can't tell exactly what. Maybe it's cursed. Something very powerful and very evil.
Cursed, eh? Hey, friends, I think this sword may be cursed. And I sort of give a knowing look to,
Your sword?
no, the one on this statue here. Could that be the cause of this manifestation here?
Certainly could be.
I am hesitant to meddle with curses. I assume that whatever caused it is some deep-rooted cause.
Yeah, I'm cursed enough. Just goes over to it. Rex, you got anything else before I smash?
Can't be more cursed than me.
Before we desecrate this place further, hang on a second. I want to see if I can cast Remove Curse as a wizard. I think I can.
I know clerics can. Paladins might get it as well, but I don't think anyone's high enough a level to have their little spells as paladin.
No, wizards get it. Cleric, paladin, warlock, and wizard. So I'll use my last third level spell slot, and I'll say everybody take a couple steps back for me because it might not work.
All right. Lydia's gonna take steps back, but still try to keep you in her aura in case it explodes and you need the bonus.
Yeah, where's your aura, Rashemi?
Oh,
We need like one of those. We need a Venn diagram. Right? Just
I
Rex in
actually
the
don't
middle.
think I succeeded because I shouldn't have rolled with advantage.
All right. Yeah, you did roll 14.
Yeah, I didn't mean to roll with it.
I think the DC is 15 for that little spell, right?
I think it's 16.
Okay. So that means there's a backfire.
There is.
It's the first time this has failed, so you take a little bit of damage.
I think it's what 3D something.
I have to look it up because it's the first time you've failed since you've gotten it, so it's been a while since I looked up the.
4.
since I've looked at the particulars.
I knew this day was coming.
Hey,
Okay,
what are you doing there?
so yeah, you take X d6 force damage, where X is the level spell you attempted to cast. So 3d6 damage.
Would you like me to roll, or would you like to roll?
Whatever you want to do, man.
Ow.
All right, so yeah, the spell backfires, and you just almost blows up in your face. You see, an outline of smoke and soot around your face and
Yes, I think
hands.
this deserves a more physical solution.
Is that a typical casting of remove curse? Or...
Varus says, "I think he messed up the spell somehow."
Listen, if you see me just shaking my hand that has the apparatus on it, I'm just like, I need to focus on this a little bit more.
Just waving away smoke that only you can see and smell.
After you guys, feel free.
All right. Does anybody have any objections to me smashing this?
Oh, I don't think anyone does. Yeah, Lydia will say, it's your quest to do this, so.
I was simply trying to prevent more damage to this place in case it mattered.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to give Rex 5 more. So, and then I'm going to smash.
All right. So when you smash give me an attack roll.
Okay. Let's see how well this goes.
I will move back over.
It's just yeah, it hits it.
26.
And yeah, 12 is enough to damage this thing. So you start, basically, it's a huge statue, it's large. So you definitely start sort of like at maybe the kneecaps or the thigh, maybe even the hip.
Can I just try to, if it's from the sword itself, can I just try to like smash
Yeah,
it
get the
down?
wrist or the arm. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, the toys will definitely allow you to do it. You just take a running jump and you smash the arm. And as soon as the sword sort of loses contact with the statue and falls down to the ground with a clatter. It is metal. It's the only metal thing on that statue. Like I almost wasn't a part of it. And clatters to the ground. For those with detect magic still up, you're still getting that bad mojo, that bad sense from the sword, but this graveyard apparition around you begins to dissolve like the very mist that already retreated. And as it's sort of fading away, you see more and more of these trees begin to encroach that are teeming with life. It gets brighter, almost as the sun is rising, and then you're just then standing once again in the forest with this sort of black metal blade on the ground. Now where the black metal blade is touching, all that grass and undergrowth is dead, but everything else around it is teeming with life.
You know, I just
Is
remembered too. Oh no, you go.
Is the sword attached to pants still?
It is attached to the marble hand is still holding the sword.
Can I try to like more lightly smash those away?
Just a little smack.
You can try. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world if I destroy this thing, but I mean,
Yeah, you still manage to hit it.
it's less.
You just like a little tap, like a tap, like the archaeologist's tools, like with like a hammer on a chisel. Go at it, and you do smash the fingers and the hand holding it, holding the blade. There is still that dead effect of it on the grass underneath it, though.
Before I go grabbing this, people can cast remove curse, right?
I could before. I can't anymore.
Do you still want to cast Identify?
Me?
Can you please?
Yes.
I was gonna say.
I thought I would have done that before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So we'll have it go off now then, just to give you some more information. This item, this broken sword.
Yeah, the spell magic detected the curse. I tried to remove curse. Now I'm identifying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. This magic item is cursed.
Thank you.
You think it has some reaction to life, mainly causing it to die. But it like the grass below it. You think maybe the statue. I'm not sure what the statue was, but maybe the statue was a conduit or an amplification for its power, and was allowing it to sort of make that graveyard scene, um, make it manifest and have it spread throughout the Feywild. Um, but you think as long as you don't touch the sword with your bare skin, it should be safe to handle.
Okay, thank you, because I was about to snatch that. Anybody got some cloth or something?
Can I cast Unseen Servant and have him carry it?
Yes, you can do that as well.
He is cursed.
If it blows up my little force minion, that's fine.
Well, he's not alive technically, so it has no effect on him.
Okay. What's your NC servant's name?
Good question.
I mean, standard butler names: Reginald, Alfred.
I'll think of one. I think it has,
So
it has to be a German name. I don't know why.
Walther.
No, it can't be
Gustav.
Walther. I like Gustav.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's his name. Gustav the Ghost.
That's more Russian than German, though.
Gustav.
Gustav.
That's fine. I have a history with the name Gustav and characters that I've created.
Oh.
All right. So Gustav, you don't see. You see him. You see his sword begin to float in the air and move with purpose.
With any of those spells cast on it, would you be able to know if we can destroy it? If it's cursed, I just want to count.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just remembered that remove curse didn't actually
Didn't work.
remove curse on magic items.
It only
Spell.
temporarily does it.
Doesn't do that?
No, it only removes curses on creatures.
Yeah.
Like if a person is attuned to a cursed magic item, it'll de-attune them from it.
But it won't remove a curse permanently
Yeah.
from that item.
No.
I wish
So
I knew that.
maybe a high level spell will allow you
Maybe
to
like
do
an
this,
antipathy.
but it's certainly sort of beyond your capabilities now.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, raw it can't remove a curse from an item. It just whoever's holding the item can let go of it, so they're not cursed essentially.
I want to say antipathy or sympathy can destroy magic items, or that might have just been the Stone of Galore back in Dragon Heist.
I think there's different spells for different ones, because I know
It's usually a story
Sword
thing.
of Vengeance.
Yeah.
Like if it's I was gonna for story purposes safe. If remove curse had worked, I would have gone off. I would have allowed you to it to work on this item, but
Yeah. So do we know if we can destroy here?
you don't think? Give me an Arcana check.
Rex, please.
You got it.
I mean, I'll still do it.
All right, yes,
Hey, that's
16
not
is
the
good enough.
worst.
Most magic-y cursed stuff, it's usually not good if you just try to break the weapon or item that is cursed. Something else bad happens. Usually the safest object is to magically remove the curse.
You
All right,
think,
let's head back.
Queen Titania might have some ideas about how to destroy this
That's
item.
a great
I
idea.
mean, she is a god, right? Empowered. So, I'd imagine.
Let's hope so. Either way, maybe we can find that guy who can get us back quickly.
Yeah, as soon as the unseen servant picks up the sword and is now moving or floating there.
Oh man, does things like die around it? Sad.
No. If it's not touching the grass, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
As soon as it's lifted off the grass comes back to life.
Nice.
It appears that now that it is no longer amplified by that statue, the only thing it curses is whatever comes into direct contact with it. It's anything living, rather. And as the unseen servant is not living, he seems to be immune to its effects. But yeah, so the Eladrin fellow does come out of the woods, sees the magic item, and does a cursed item, does shy away from it and says, I see you have done as my lady wished. He says, come, I will take you back to the summer court.
We follow.
Yep, it is a different pattern this time that he moves through the trees, but a similar time frame, about a minute later, and you are back at the sort of entrance to the summer court.
Can we like? Again, I haven't been here so long. Are we able to just like go to?
Yes, it is a spire that you can climb. Yes, he will guide you there if you want to, but he guides you up this long spire. It's the tallest, tower of the summer court. I think I described it last time you were here, but it's basically, it doesn't have a top or a cap per se. It's a flat top that's just a bed of grass, like a clearing, and the walls / ceiling are trees that are sort of bent to form a ceiling while leaving a circle in the middle for sunlight to come through and illuminate the area. And then standing at the edge of, when you come up from the stairway, standing at the edge, the far end, are people on thrones, like elevated thrones made out of like roots or vines that are somewhat like thrust out of the earth as if to hold them, are Queen Titiana and Oberon.
And I would probably approach them and bow, and say we have retrieved the item that you requested of us. We hope that you can dispose of it properly.
She says, yes. Well, she doesn't say it. She speaks into your mind. You hear. It's like layered voices in all different types of language but the one that your birth language is the one that is highlighted, the one that speaks to you. And the other ones are just like background noise. And so she says, yes, I see that you have. Just come closer. And she's obviously indicating Nat as well. The unseen servant, the sword floats out of their grasp and comes close to Titiana. She does not touch it. She just holds it. It's sort of floating outside of her grasp. And as it gets closer to her, the color of it begins to change from this dark material, this dark metal material. It's sort of like more of a gold. And as it gets closer and closer to her, it becomes this like shining sort of beacon. And that's when it finally reaches her and she grabs hold of it.
Yeah. So now would stop kneeling, move forward, and then start kneeling. Definitely, humbling themselves in front of the power.
Yeah, you get pretty close. Like last time, she does allow you closer than most people. You get the feeling most would. Oberon is still very tense. You get the closer, and you see that his hand. He has not drawn his sword, but his hand is on the pommel of it, because you're within about 15 feet of Titiana, and she rises from where she's seated and walks towards you, and takes the formerly cursed object, now a gleaming gold, almost as if it's maybe a sliver of the sun itself, and it is a broken blade, but it's probably a long sword, and she says, present your weapon to me, please.
So yeah, now would take it off their bag, hold it with both hands,
All right. And as she walks closer to you, she says, "I remove you. She says, I remove this curse from you," as she sort of knights you on both shoulders. And then she steps back, and then she has a brief smile, and she says, and then she says, "I offer you a bit more." And then she steps forward again, and then takes the sword and pushes it into Pancake's head. And it's sort of is. It doesn't make sense because it looks like how it would react if a sword is going through water or a lake. There's ripples there, but you very well know of all people, Nat,
This
that
is liquid.
that Pancake is not a liquid. It is a bludgeoning object meant to cave in skulls. But she sort of pushes it into the head of Pancake and it disappears. And Pancake undergoes a radical transformation. She says to you then, Nat, in your head, to everyone else she thanks you, but to Nat she says, "I call this weapon Solstice, but I see you already have a fondness for it. It's the name of Pancake, so you can call it what you will."
They'll chuckle a little nervously. It's like what it said by.
And I will post what Pancake/Solstice does.
Solstice pancake.
It has evolved into Flapjack.
That's one of its abilities, Flapjack Stack.
Oh no! Oh man, would you be like? I don't know, I'm Swedish, so we have a lot of Swedish pancake. What's the actual Swedish word? I'm getting on a tangent. Whatever.
Making me hungry. This is making.
They're delicious.
This might not and won't fit. Okay, let's try again.
I love the idea of like a sliver of sunshine.
So I initially had two names for each ability, but it was so hard to do both that because I felt like the name was something unique and funny, so I just gave up and just did with the waffle breakfasty thing.
Soul cake.
Oh my gosh, I get cantrips.
But yes.
I haven't even read anything else. I just
So
saw you learn to drink.
there was a fate when you mentioned all those while ago that you wanted cantrips. Earlier that day, I had just made Solstice/Pancake, and I gave a smile on stream when you mentioned that because I was like, oh, if only you knew.
Oh, I'm gonna be reading better than what.
But yeah, I'm gonna put that in Roll20 as well. I will reveal it to the players too so they can see it, but I just posted it in Discord for now. But yeah, that's basically all I have planned for the Feywild. So, and Tintin won't say as much.
Can I obviate Oberon?
Yes, you can try to. It's a wisdom saving throw or wisdom check, I believe, right?
Yeah. Insight DC 15, I think.
All right, give me an insight.
Oh!
All right. So what does it normally do? It's normally 3, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you 4 with a critical success.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm just like narrowing my eyes looking at this dude. Like he always wants to murder everyone in the room.
The 4th thing is usually, I think is beyond you. He is beyond all of you combined. He could kill all of you if he wanted to. I think his DC is 24 or 22. His whatever the item or the monster level, whatever it's called.
Okay. I would like to know his let's say his bonds or ideals.
So he is in utter servitude to Tiana. That's why he's so protective of her.
How about his flaws?
I'm looking up his background. There's not a lot on him, strangely enough, which is kind of sad. So I'm looking up a bunch of stuff.
He cares too much.
He cares. He is rigid in his belief system. He thinks he is above mortals such as yourselves. And he can't comprehend why Titiana displays such a fondness for them.
And I would love to know his combat strategy.
Murder you with his sword faster than you can blink.
And real quick, is this first level druid spell? Is that one of those cast once per day, or is it just use a spell slot like that?
It will. You can prepare it in addition to a paladin spell. So essentially, you can pull from either a druid. It's only one, but you can pull from any first level spell. Essentially, it does count as a spell you can prepare, and all that stuff. I tried to make it balanced because it gives you other abilities too. Sort of.
And
Okay, so it would be replacing one of my
Prepared spells, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Can I know about his sense of humor?
Sense of humor. It's probably a dry humor. It's not anything you would consider funny because his reference and his time frame and his sensibilities take place over the course of thousands of years, so his jokes wouldn't make sense to you if he told them.
I just want to get him to like me.
You don't think that's going to be possible?
Oh well, we'll work on it. Alrighty then. That's all I wanted to do. Well, we can head back to Clinks and Drinks now.
Yeah. Titiana will thank you for your service, all of you, and just she hopes that you found what you came into the Feywild looking for. And it said telepathically to all of you, but you get the feeling that Rashemi that she's focusing on you when she says that.
Sure.
And she says, now that you have been here, the fey creatures that were inhabiting the forest you call Gueron Strumbo will retreat back into the Feywild, but I will leave the portal open for you if you wish to return. It will open every full moon.
I bow generously. Thank you. We will make sure to keep the area in reverence.
All right. And I think is there anything else you want to talk to Tiana about before you guys sort of leave the area?
I'll probably tell her if she sees any other wizards or men who look like the ones in red robes and bald-headed with tattoos. They are more like the Unseelie Fae. They are evil. So it may be best to deal with them as if they were Unseelie Fae.
She does say that is interesting. Yes, I will. If you are so convinced, I will. If any of those individuals do reach the Feywild again, I will take measures to take care of them.
I nod.
Rashimi, your insight too, from just probably your 24 was totally see, she treats mortals more like, while Oberon has other disdain for you, hers isn't exactly like hers is more like a curiosity, really, than like a fondness. It's more like, that's why she didn't really intervene with what Vera and the They were doing. She was just trying to figure out what they were there for, why they were there. You know, as long as they didn't hurt the Feywild itself, she had no reason to take action against them.
Makes sense. It's probably just like, oh, that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
You know, to her, it's
Like
a
a creature you never seen before. You know how you would maybe like a cat. Not cruel like a cat, but like you look at something and you're trying to figure out what
It's
it
like,
does and how it works.
Like old timey paintings of animals that
Yeah.
people have never seen before.
Like a platypus. This thing is real. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, you guys make your way back into the Gueron's slumber. The light of the pool behind you fades and grows dim because it is not the full moon. The portal for now, the Fey Crossing for now, is closed to you. But you think once the light of the full moon hits the pool again, the Fey Crossing will probably open back up, as Titiana said. And you make your way back to claim some drinks, where you can relax and rest. You do get a number of letters in the mail, but we won't open them for now. We'll just say that there are some addressed to Evelyn. There's one addressed to Indy. Reverence Caxier's mother wishes to talk to her as well. And I think that's about it, I think, for the plot points that I had
I'm the one that gets the mail, right?
prepared. Documenters, yes, generally get the mail. Yeah, Evelyn has 2 letters. Indy has 1. And that's the rest of you don't have anything really as far as mail goes.
Is there anything just to the branch?
Nothing from the branch office yet. You still have that 1 mission from them, so they're probably waiting until you complete it before sending you more missions.
Oh yeah, the wizards.
But that is all I have for you guys as well. You do also get a letter saying that the Lord Protector of Tri would like to speak to you at your earliest convenience as well. And a letter from the Wainwrights saying that your food cart is ready. You just need to pay and pick it up. 750 gold.
Nice.
How much money do we have? Let me check.
You did just get paid 600 gold for completing both of those jobs, I believe. So if that's not in there, I think you already added that, though.
I did, yeah. So wait, how much was it? 700?
750.
All right, we'll still have over 1,000.
Gonna get on that food truck grind.
But yeah, so if you want to do some RP and talking now, you can. But that's all I have the planned content. I'm going to hold off on the other character stuff like that until everyone's here. Vera will once again ask for Shemi, though. Now, do you want to introduce me to everyone?
As we walk back to the tavern.
I'm not going to tell you how to tell. I'm not going to show you how to telepathically communicate with me until you do.
Yeah, I'll turn to Nat and Rex to say, so that girl who died, she was my friend as a child, and she went into my sword. She talks to me now. Just to give you a heads up.
This explains so much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we definitely didn't think you were going crazy, right?
well, you know, a lot of things happen. Busy on the road, so just thought I'd give you a heads up. And I'm sure we'll tell the others when they're around.
I know. Can I cast? Do I have message? Oh, damn! I accidentally.
All right.
If I have the message cantrip, I'd like to cast it into the sword and just say hello.
Okay.
Wait, I'm not positive that I have it yet. Hold on.
Is it me you're looking for?
So yeah, over the next course of the day, Vera will teach you how to telepathically communicate with her rather than just talk out loud so you don't sound like a crazy person
What?
anymore.
This is an invasion of privacy.
I mean, she's already talking to you telepathically. Just figured it should be a two-way street.
Rex is hacking into my sword.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm in.
technically, she's not a creature, but I'll allow it.
I thought you might.
Yeah. So she goes, "Oh, hello, who's
I hate
this?"
I'm not hacking into your sword. It's a person.
What the hell?
She's like, she hasn't taught you yet, so you can hear her. You can hear her talking to someone, but you don't know. You can hear her side of the conversation, but you can't hear the other side.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm talking to one of your friends. His name is Rex.
This is uncalled. I have to go. I start running towards the bar.
Don't leave me behind. But yeah, she does introduce herself as Vera. She says she would call you by your actual name. She wouldn't call you Rashemi. And she says, I am Koro's childhood friend.
Did I know that name before?
I think she said it, but she said it during the fight.
I think maybe it would have sunk in now.
Yeah, it's obvious she's referring to Rashemi.
Right.
I'm not trying to intrude upon your. What's the word? Link. I don't know what the right word is there, but
Telepathic bond.
your bond. But nice.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too.
So Rex is going to set up shop Clinks and Drinks with the darkest ale you have, and he'll start sending, just start making reports, documents or shit, just of what we've been up to and any quest reports he hasn't, or mission reports he hasn't filed yet. He'll send those up.
All right, yeah, and Metis will ask for copies of those as well, so she can, like, archive it essentially, in your basement or wherever.
Mage hand copies my handwriting as I write. So
Dope.
I'll sit down too and just sort of like put my head in my hands as I get the ale poured, just like coming to terms with everything that's happened. And I assume 2 days.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a heavy 2 days. Torig, your bartender, says you look like someone who could use a talking to laddie.
I wish that things would talk to me less, maybe.
I'll leave you be then. You know, you got a good group of friends here on Team Soteria, so.
Talking isn't my strong suit.
You're one of those strong silent types, and I see.
More like awkward, quiet types. A real wallflower.
I said, well, I won't trouble you further then.
Thanks.
It's like when he's saying wallflower. Or wait, hold on. Does this require attunement?
It comes as long as it comes attuned to you.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I got the 3 slots wise. So yeah, it's like when he says flower, all over the place. His Nat's just casting druid craft everywhere.
Oh no, this won't get old. There's just flowers like growing out of everything at this point. Goodness. I mean,
look, I can cast things now without thinking as much as I want. This is so weird.
That is pretty weird. But it seems at least that it fits your persona.
Oh, thanks.
And I actually can cast cantrips as well.
I never understood that. Like spells just take so much out of you.
And
You just do that all the time.
I'll use chill touch to pick a flower, and
It
it
just
just crumbles. into
dies
dust.
immediately as soon as you touch it.
I guess it's like when you pick, it's like, ooh, it's this.
It's this ghost hand. That's cool. What's up with that?
Oh,
A gift from a Mr. Dark Magic.
who's that? I think I've heard of him before.
I think he's part of our company. I'm not entirely sure. Seems like a real asshole.
Yeah, I'll take you.
And I'll probably try to kill him if I ever see him again.
Oh wow! Again? So you saw him before?
In person, live.
Wow.
Lydia shudders when you mention Jim Darkmagic's name.
Yeah, I just sort of pat her on the shoulder and hand her a drink as well. Yeah, it was not so great a first impression. But, you know, as I hear, much of this company is not so personable.
Yeah, I guess.
But I would say after our brief journey in the Feywild, definitely thoughts return to the librarians and what their plans are.
Yeah. Was there? So we're going to that wizard place. Is that?
Going alongside.
Yeah.
Maybe that has. Yeah. You think that has books? I mean, I guess if it's where magic users are.
Give me a history
there's
check.
probably some good
You can give me a
books.
history check.
Can I make the same check or whatever?
We look at Rex.
Yeah, if you're a wizard too, would definitely know Long Saddle as well. If you were a wizard, you could make this check as well. But
Nope.
yeah, Rex, Long Saddle
I
is
just hear.
Long Saddle is home to a famous group of wizards.
Called the librarians.
No, they are
Oh, we
called.
found him.
Not be that easy. They're called the Harpels.
The Schmarbrarians.
And there is a small temple / shrine there dedicated to Azuth, who is he's a lesser deity. He's under Mystra, but he's essentially the patron deity of wizards.
I might get actually physical with these guys this time.
Really just decking out, you know.
Yeah.
Who's Ogma? Is Ogma like a wizard?
Ogma is knowledge. He's pure knowledge. He's not based in magic, although some do worship both Mystra and Ogma like dually, but they're considered kind of heretical in the lore.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So
Mystra actually has two gods underneath her. Azuth is one. The other one is another. I forgot his name too. But they always fight to be her second in command.
I thought Azuth was the one that Asmodeus ate. Didn't he eat Azuth?
He ate a deity, but I don't think it's Azuth. I spelled Asmodeus wrong, but
Fordham.
Oh, you're thinking of Savras.
Oh, am I?
Savras is the other one. Yeah.
The other.
Oh, okay. So, but the Harpels, are they famous enough to, like, know what their family business is? Are they religious in any way affiliated?
A 13 is not good enough for
I
that.
ask Rex. Rex, you seem to know these people pretty well. Do you think these are related to the books?
Probably.
Hmm.
It's funny that we keep getting wrapped up in this.
Yes, well, it does seem like it was fairly intentional after the conversation we had. You know, Averlade isn't here if you wanted to check in on our friend. I would look the other way if you wanted to try to glean something more from him.
I even ask him?
I guess we did get a lot of that. We got a pretty sizable out of him last time we spoke with him, but
Yeah, I'm scared to engage him. Be lying if I told you there wasn't a part of me that considered the offer.
well, I can only say my experience with wizards who try to take too much is not a positive one.
Certainly, his overall ideals are misguided, in my opinion. I don't understand trying to break the wheel, as it were. But there are secrets out there, and they're gonna find them. I want to know them.
Indeed,
I'm not willing to go that far.
if only we could find out more about him himself. Seems that something this off kilter would be prompted by some great tragedy of his own.
Yeah. Out of character. What?
There was when you guys first went to Wario, this was before Shemi and Nat joined, you did do it under the pretenses of you were looking for a former party member's personal quest, looking into that. Vera was there to investigate more about the leader of the librarians, Gnosis, and you found out that he did study for a long time at the Font of Knowledge, but never really made a name for himself, never really stood out. This is Vera telling you this as well. He never really stood out. Then one day, he locked himself in his room for a long time, and when he came out, he declared that he was, he had more answers than these false prophets and false believers could give, and that he would show everyone how wrong they are, essentially. And when the clerics and priests tried to stop him from, bad-mouthing Ogma, and committing, blasphemies, he used magic that was previously beyond him to defeat, restrain, and kill these people, and then left. He gave a passionate speech before this, it turned to violence. He was able to convince some of the clergy to follow him, and they were probably the core members of the librarians.
Okay.
What was that? Gnosis or someone?
That was Gnosis.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's big.
Yeah. He basically was a small fry who got a taste of power. It
Jeez.
sounds like he couldn't hack it on his own.
And we didn't get any kind of history on him before his time at the Font of Knowledge.
That was not kept in the records, and Vera couldn't find that. He did own some property off of, it was like a small, house outside the Temple of, outside of the Font of Knowledge, but it was run down. No one's lived there for probably like 20 years or 10 or whatever appropriate amount of time. I forgot the time frame I put forth. Probably like 10 years no one's lived there.
Bizarre.
And yeah,
He trained under someone or worked for someone?
that part isn't, no one's sure how he developed this this sudden ability. I think Vera and Rex have pieced together that it has something to do with the Metatext, which is why he's looking for these books. The Metatext, if you forgot, or if I didn't mention it before, it's essentially It's written by a god, the god of writing, Denier. It's hidden. People, it's more of a myth than an established, a religious fact. But it's said to have been it's hidden in various forms of writing, most notably those by particularly intellectual or divinely inspired people. But if you complete the metatext and you read it fully, after collecting all these books and reading all of them, you will obtain the knowledge and the ability to ascend to godhood. So it's essentially
Yeah,
how to be a god 101, or how to be a god for dummies.
I get that.
It's how Denier ascended, right?
And I had a question.
I believe so.
What was the chest, the silver chest we were casting spells on? What was that origin? Where did that come from?
We found that in a cave. There were orcs, I think, in it, and there
Yes.
was a chest. And in the orcs' journal, they mentioned they came across 2 gray-robed wizards that were guarding it, traveling with it, and they waylaid them, took it.
Yes.
It was a chest that the librarians had stolen, and they were transporting, and they crossed by where the orcs were, and the orcs took it from them.
Oh.
Yes. But the orcs couldn't open it, but they just kept it because it was shiny.
And the only other example of high magic that we've seen is Vera, correct?
Yes. She seems to be able to cast either enhanced versions or alter versions of spells that are known, due to her use of Silver Fire.
Okay.
Which, I don't think you guys made a check for that, but all wizards would know what Silver Fire is, I think. It's also spoken of, sort of like legends. If someone possesses Silver Fire, they are chosen by Mystra.
It's like having the Sharingan. Everyone
Yeah.
understands.
It's like, if you're a magic user and you see everyone wants to have Silver Fire, essentially. Like, yeah, because and if you see someone with Silver Fire, you know they're they are right with their god, essentially, because only chosen of Mystra can use it.
Well, sitting with Rex, I will turn to him and say, it seems like the only way we could get one over on him is to play on his level somehow. And I feel maybe this chest could be a boon in some way to reaching that.
Yeah, I mean, his goal is to find every trace of the metatext. He claims he's found some of it. It's hard to believe. It's such a mystery. But something put him over the top as far as being able to overpower everybody at the font of knowledge. But there's something in that chest, and he's gonna want it.
You could ask him about the chest.
I don't want him to know we have it.
You don't think he would know already?
Dude,
You're not certain. You haven't asked him. He might suspect, but doesn't know for sure, because currently it's in a place where he cannot, and no magic user, in fact, can detect. It's in a zone of dead magic.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Vera? I'm getting confused with all these Vera names.
Yeah. I'm trying to pronounce them differently. It's Vera and Vera.
Vera is the one we know. Vera is in the sword.
Yes.
Okay. Vera has told us, or I'm sorry,
She does have a full name, but she doesn't like it, so she uses her nickname.
Vera has cast some kind of older magic on it. I think it makes it so that it doesn't even show up. Even as a non-magic item, it's just not there. If you're not looking directly at it with your naked eye, like there's no way you would detect that it was there, unless you were in the room staring at it. This is the way she said it to us.
I see. Keep it free from any far sight of any kind.
Right.
Then it would seem to me that perhaps we hold a card in our hand, at the very least.
Certainly. I just don't know what it means. I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't know what's in there, and I don't know. Depending on what it is, I don't know how to play it against it.
Well, you'll have to wait 3 weeks of game time to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just keep on drinking.
Yeah, Vera is preparing Vera. I'll say Vera. Her full name is Minerva, but she doesn't like it. She thinks it's pretentious, so she uses Vera instead. But Vera of Team Palace has said she's prepared. She doesn't know the spells required, but she can herself. But she can use Silver Fire and carve them into or inscribe them into spell scrolls and then cast them later. But the mats and everything to do that take time to repair. And casting a spell you don't know Silver Fire is very tiring as well, so that's why she's taking her so long to do this. Because she needs to do 6th and 7th level spells. But yeah, that's the story recap that's going on so far.
Good to know.
And oh man, you guys, that was a good ending conversation there because you're thinking. You're thinking. I like it. Is there anything anyone wants?
Matt's thinking. Dang it! I forgot to pick up my javelin.
Oh yeah, that's stuck. Well, you can.
Three.
There's a blacksmith in here. You can always get one back.
Lydia
Lydia is trying to undo the highest concentration of your flowers. She's trying to lessen them so they're not so ostentatious.
Well, I figured out I can't actually just like make flowers from them. There has to be like a flower that's not.
Yeah, because they are. Well, here's the thing: if you try it on your hammer, who's halved now, the head is still Pancake's head, but the half of the weapon is like this branch now. You can make flowers bloom from that.
Nice.
But yeah, she's trying to, because your sudden displays and frequent displays of magic are freaking out the customers you have. So Lydia is trying. She also has Druidcraft. She's trying to reduce the most obvious displays of that to not freak them out, so they'll stay here and continue to buy stuff.
One question I did have about the weapon is, so what if I never plan on getting to level Paladin?
I'm considering allowing it to just be whenever you get your next ASI, or at those levels in particular for your character. So it looks more like a cantrip.
It's like, I'm going to get to level 7 and then take a bunch of levels in Barbarian.
Yeah, that'll probably work still.
Okay. And then, do you have like the item on D&D Beyond? I'm not very good at it.
I don't have it on D&D Beyond, and I apologize, but it takes a long time to make a homebrew item in D&D Beyond, or homebrew anything, especially if you don't have a basis for it. Aveline seems particularly adept at doing. I did it once a long time ago for a character I play as, but it took me 3 hours to make her subclass of cleric and all the magic items you had that were homebrewed. It shouldn't take you that long because you're only making one, but Aveline did it for her shield, so I would ask her when she's feeling better.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask her. Yeah, because I can't add on, spell.
But basically, I think the way she did it is you start with the base, which is a Warhammer. You make it a +1, or a +1 Warhammer, and then you as your base, and then you homebrew some stuff like add that gives you druid spells or druid cantrips. Add that it can give you advantage on or whatever it is to reroll one ability at 8th level, that sort of thing.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I did put in there you get extra cantrips. Oh, 12th level is supposed to give you 1 extra cantrip as well.
Oh.
So you'd have 3 cantrips in total. 1 is always Druidcraft, so you have two you can choose, and then you get a 2nd and 3rd level spell. So I'll add that. I'll change that in Roll20.
Was that a 12th one?
12th level, yeah.
Get all the spells at 12th level.
Yeah, let me end the stream. We can talk about this some more because we kind of
Gotcha.
got off a tangent. But thank you guys for watching and playing. We'll see you guys next week, maybe with everyone back. We'll be back in Triboard. There are some quest threads and character development threads for them to tug on, but we're going to take a break from the main story now because some people are getting burned out. But hopefully we'll still have some fun doing some RP and stuff like that.